Welcome into this segment of Behind the Pen presented by MostValuablePodcast.com. If you want to listen to the full podcast, go to blogtalkradio.com/MostValuablePodcast. Also, we're on iTunes, so check us out there as well. Thank you all for listening as always, and enjoy the show.
And Dave, we're going to move on into our third topic out of 4, moving away from Chicago, and we're going to stay with the guy that came from the Bears.
What a surprise, a Bears player!
No. But we're going to the city of brotherly love, and we are going to be talking about the Philadelphia Eagles, and what they did was they didn't get just one wide receiver. They got 2. They've got Torrey Smith. They've got Alshon Jeffery. Dave, hitting you with the softball question here. Do Torrey Smith and Alshon Jeffery make the Eagles chicken tenders? Because that's what you want. Not contenders. You want to call them chicken tenders.
Tough question there, Rick. Tough question. Yeah, this was the worst receiving core in the NFL last year, I want to say.
Pretty close.
And literally it was either second or them. It was the 49ers and the Eagles both shared awful wide receiver performances last year.
Oh, and they get a guy that was on that 49er receiving core.
But he was their best wide receiver.
Yes, he was.
So, to be fair, he's the best of the worst. No, I think that both these additions are huge, and I think that it's an interesting thing because the Alshon contract is a 1 year, right? 1 year, 14
1
mil?
year, 14 mil.
So that'll be interesting because it'll be kind of like the, let's test the waters. Let's see if he's going to be a great fit. If he can stay healthy with it, he's obviously going to command a whole lot more money. If not, maybe they can get him a bargain again for a future longer-term contract. Torrey Smith, he's a professional. He's been in this league for a very long time. He can still do it. He can still go out there and run over the middle, fearless man, and just take shots. But he's a great possession wide receiver, and I think that this is absolutely the right move to kind of build up those wide receivers because you have a young quarterback in Wentz who very promising. He started off so hot last year, and I think that the Eagles did him no due service with the wide receiving core with as many drops and I've even seen just routes run wrong. It didn't look good, and I think that he needs a better surrounding cast to help him succeed. And I think that Jeffrey and Torrey Smith are absolutely great additions.
And the one thing they did, you look at last year, really Jordan Matthews was their top receiver in the wide receiver core. I know they had Zach Ertz and Selleck for tight ends, but when it came to receivers, really you had Jordan Matthews as, really to me, that was your go-to guy, even though on ourlads.com he's listed in the slot. They go and they trade for DGB, Dorial Green Beckham from Tennessee. Really, to me, that was a trade where it's like, huh? Why? He hasn't really done anything with Tennessee. And you saw a flash last year. There was one game where it's like, wow, he had a pretty nice catch. Is that good? Is that what he could do in this league? And then Nelson Aguilar, where he gets drafted, he's a return specialist in my mind. Dropsies indeed. And that's why I said return specialist, because you got to hang on to the ball in order to be a wide receiver. So basically, what this move to me was from the Eagles was a reactionary move to what the Giants did a day before. The Giants announced on Wednesday, hey, we're signing Brandon Marshall. We're going to make it official tomorrow. We're going to have OBJ on this side. We're going to have Eli in the middle. We're going to have Brandon Marshall over here. We'll figure out the running back and the O-line situation, but we want to rival the Dallas Cowboys. Well, this move with the Smith and Jeffrey move for the Eagles was them saying, yeah, you know what? We want to be closer to you guys and not closer to that dumpster fire behind us in the Washington Redskins, a team that we're going to talk about later. And to me, this is exactly what you said. Carson Wentz, he's going to be entering his sophomore season. How do you make sure he doesn't have a sophomore slump? Get him 2 big receivers in Torrey Smith and Alshon Jeffery, where, Smith on the outside, you could say just run a fly route and hit him going long. And with Alshon...
I don't have speed anymore, but yeah.
Well, not with the speed. I'm just saying with the route running ability and the catching ability. But one of the tweets that I saw today from Eagles Nation was a catch of Alshon right here, just 2 up, dragging as he's falling out of the back of the end zone.
Everything. The ball is secure.
All you got to do is, if you're Wentz, throw it up, let Alshon go get it.
Yeah.
Basically, you got 1, 2, and Jordan Aguilar, kind of a little mix in the slot, but really Jordan Matthews is the guy in your slot position.
Yep.
But yeah, I think the Eagles hit a home run with these 2 guys, and although I still have them as 3rd in the division right now, it's going to be close, and this could no longer be the NFC least, and they can go back to being the NFC beast.
I've got two-parter for you.
Okay.
Number one, how hard does it hurt that Alshon turned down a deal from your own hometown fan Vikings?
We wanted 2 years though, I believe.
You did
right?
want a longer term contract, but he said he saw a better future with the 1 year and with Carson Wentz.
Well, it's not, to me. I never read into the Carson Wentz thing. What I think this is Alshon Jeffery, because apparently he got, like, we weren't the only ones. There were a lot of 2-year deals that he was getting.
Yeah. There are a couple offers out there, but you two were the finalists.
It's really one of the things where, would I have loved to see Alshon in my my nice purple jersey? Of course. We need wide receivers. I know we need wide receivers. But the thing with Alshon was the reason why he chose the 1-year contract is he's kind of betting on himself. He's saying, you know what? I don't want to lock myself down for 2 years and be at a team. I want to go. I want to prove that I can play in this league. Well, really, we know he can play in the league, but it's one of those things, stay healthy and be the number one guy like he used to be. Really, it was like Marshall and Alshon were like 2 number ones out there for the Bears back in the day. And he wants to prove that. And if he can go out, he can have a quality season. Like you said, he can get more money next season. And I mean, although it might be more money, if I'm the Vikings, I'm sitting there going, yeah, you know what? Go over to Philly. No matter if you stink or if you're not, we'll be here next year. If we still need a wide receiver and you're on the market, we'll probably offer at you again. It's not something where it's like why didn't we get Marsh or why didn't we get Alshon Jeffery? It's just one of those things where, okay, you're going to bet on yourself. Go play in Philly, play your 1 year, and we'll see what happens next year with that one.
Right. I can respect that. And the other one for this Eagles team, you said they went out and got 2 great two great wide receivers and free agency. But that offensive line, does that scare you? Because right now that is what I'm...
A little bit.
What we watched last year be so successful. New England Patriots had... New England and I think Atlanta both had... like top 5 offensive lines,
even with Dallas throughout the regular season.
Dallas, it's snap count even. Like they had the most consistent offensive lines. So when you look at teams like that who are building through the line, and even the Browns this year went out and stole a couple offensive linemen. For some reason, Cincinnati's bizarro land, they don't value them. But if you're an Eagles fan and you're looking at developing this young quarterback, do you feel like you need to do something to address offensive line?
Well, I mean,
that's a hole.
The good thing that I'm seeing, and the one thing I'm looking while looking at their depth chart is the great thing that ourlads.com does is if it's a big red name, Dave, they're a free agent, probably not coming back next season. And on the offensive line, whether like they say Peters, Barbie, Kelsey, Brooks, Johnson, none of those are red names. None of them are red. So even if you bring back all 5 and have them in the same order, that's consistency from last year to this year. I was honestly a little surprised with the Eagles. I thought a name that they could have went out and went for was actually an ex-Viking player in Ryan Khalil. Yeah. I thought they were going to go after Khalil, bring him in on the offensive line, and really, if I'm looking at it as an Eagle fan, I'm not like, ooh, I'm scared of that offensive line because Carson Wentz is a mobile guy. And when I say mobile, I mean he's got that, I've always called it when we were doing draft profiles of that kind of Big Ben running style of like, okay, I'm back. I'm going to push it up the middle to try to get a few yards. He's not going to be no Michael Vick busting on the outside, making you dance, making you fall over. But he's also a guy that can move to the outside and throw on the run and hit receivers. And I look at that and I go, you know what? Is the offensive line ideal? No.
Sacked 33 times last year.
It's not pretty, but if it's one thing, if he can get the ball out to these receivers quick and you don't have long developing plays.
No more 7-step drops.
No more 7-step. Maybe 1, 2, 3, boom. This could be a better offense than it was last year just with the additions of Jeffery and Smith. Now, the thing that they really need to do, and this is where the offensive line might come in more, that run game. Can Ryan Matthews provide a little bit more spark in the run game? Can Darren Sproles? Can a guy like Wendell Smallwood, what are we going to see from him in a second year in this system? That's what I look at with the offensive line.
You got to balance it out. No, I think you're absolutely right. One of the biggest things is having a balanced attack because if you just sit back and let Wentz throw all day, they're going to drop 7 guys, 8 guys, and not worry about packing the box because you know what? we're just gonna pick you off. If he threw 14 interceptions, 16 touchdowns. So I mean, he was positive too. Give you credit, but let's be honest, some of those were really bad throws. I mean, really bad. But
I think you said, Carson Wentz came out on fire first 2 weeks.
Yep. I think you got to balance out that Ryan attack. Darren Sproles, I don't know.
He's getting kind of old.
I was gonna say he's long in the tooth.
Kind of old.
He is a spry, short, quick guy who can give you small bursts of offense, but I think they need I don't know if Ryan Matthews is truly the right fit for this team. There's a lot of guys out there who could be perhaps a better fit. You know, a guy who played for the champions last year, maybe Mr. Legare Clark. No, I think that he could be a good fit here. I think getting a big bruiser like him, where you can force teams to stack up the box, you get better matchups on the outside. You get Alshon, maybe won't get one-on-ones in this offense because you do have Torrey Smith on the other side. You could force them, tight ends, they've been utilizing their tight ends in Philadelphia since the Andy Reid days. They love tight ends in that offense. So honestly, I think that they do need to go out, get, I don't know if, because you said they're looking to return the entire offensive line. I still feel like there needs to be
you got to get, obviously,
improvement. Just because you return everybody doesn't mean you're okay.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's not going to be like, ooh, we're perfectly fine. But in the consistency department,
sure.
It's the same guys. And the one thing I do want to throw out about Carson Wentz, though, because it is the same offensive line from last year, this year, his lowest QBRs last year were 30.7, a 13, a 22, and a 30.7. You look at the teams that he played, though, the 30.7s came against the Washington Redskins. So what cornerback was on one of those sides of the field, basically taking away half the field? Josh Norman.
Yep.
The other 30.7 was the Seattle Seahawks, dominant defense. And then the other two, the 13, no big deal, just my Minnesota Vikings. I mean, no big deal. That's when the defense was really good. And then the 22.2, the New York Football Giants. So there were teams, I know the second time that he got a second look at the Giants, 77.3. But that first time, 22.3. All of those are really good defenses. So it's one of those things where you kind of go, yeah, he had some crap games in the QBR department, but he went up against good defenses there. Washington was probably the weakest defense out of the four that I listed.
Washington was even performing pretty highly, too, though. You got to give him credit. No, I'm with you. I think that future is bright for Philly, though. I feel like their upside is really good. I feel like they're comfortable with Wentz. I think that teams are kind of like, man, I'm glad we weren't stuck in that position last year, having to pick between the top two picks at quarterback. Wentz right now is looking like a clear winner.
Looks like a lot better than Jared Goff.
Yeah, just coming up a little
Looks
bit better.
Looks a lot better than
Sorry,
Jared
LA.
Goff. But the last thing I kind of want to mention is this. The whole to the contender side of it. Is this NFC East division next year now because of this move? Is this a three-dog race between... Because here's the thing I want to throw at you.
Yep.
On the onside kick, we talked about Brandon Marshall going to the Giants. And when I came to the prediction side of it, Mark said that it's kind of like almost a flip where maybe now because of Brandon Marshall, the Giants are at 12-4, the Cowboys are at 11-5. But it's like one game separates them next year. Because of these two, do the Eagles kind of throw their name into, is this going to be a three-dog race for the NFC East?
I think we're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit here. I have faith in this team, but I don't think they're anywhere near as loaded as the Giants are,
this was
or
a
as
7-9 team. Even if they can get 3 more wins, they're a 10-6 team.
And I still don't think they're as talented as the Dallas Cowboys or the New York Giants. Like the Giants, just Eli Manning on any given day can be one of the best, probably a top 3 quarterback in the league. It's just when he's got it, and the rest of the time he looks like a clueless dope out there, which thankfully for them is not too often. But man, those interceptions just start to hurt you. And on the other end of the floor, you got Dak, the 4th round miracle boy.
The ceiling is the roof. Don't forget that. The ceiling is the roof.
Jesus. But he's a smart guy, and he limits the turnovers, and he plays within that Dallas team's strengths. And I think that Wentz can do similar things to Philadelphia. I think that now given 2 massive, you got to think 3 of the 5 worst wide receivers in football, I think by Pro Football Rating or whatever,
were Eagles.
Were on the Eagles. Yeah. So I mean, unheralded amount of upgrade there. You're going to get so much more benefit out of that. But I think top to bottom, this Eagles roster isn't as talented as either of those two. I'm not ruling it out totally because there's always a chance for injury or for, an uncharacteristically bad year like we saw out of, Baltimore and the year before out of even the Falcons. It's just like every year some team's just going to have a step back, for no overall reason that you can't predict it. So is there a shot? Sure, just so EDP doesn't get angry at me. There's a shot.
Yeah, you don't want EDP full 5 coming after you. But the one thing I will say is I'm going to fight my inner Ricky.
Yep.
And not overreact.
Yep.
I'm still sticking by my guns. It's going to be Cowboys and Giants.
Yeah, I think they're
fighting
an 8-win
it out.
team.
Both of them are playoff contenders for Cowboys and Giants.
Oh yeah, easily.
They'll fight it out for the NFC East crown. But the one thing I do think that these moves by the Eagles, what they do, and we're going to get into this team to end the podcast, is if I'm the Washington Redskins and if I'm Vance watching this video, I'm sitting there going, well, fuck, what do we do? Because the Redskins are going to be in. I will put money on it. Redskins are in the cellar of this division.
They done messed up.
They are in the cellar because what do they have left? But before we get on into them, because I feel like that's where we're going, this is where you guys come in. Let us know about the Eagles. What do you think about Torrey Smith, Alshon Jeffery signing with the team? Are they now contenders in this division, maybe even for the playoffs? Are we going to see 3 teams from this division go get that little overreaction in the comment section?
Thank you guys for sticking around for this segment of Behind the Pen. If you want more most valuable podcast content, click on the video up above because I don't know why you wouldn't want to keep listening to our voices every day. But again, guys, thank you all for listening. We really do appreciate you.